Hello everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? I would appreciate if someone would type in and say, yes, I can hear you. So my name is Chila Bischoff. I'm a holistic health coach. I also teach Kundalini Yoga, and I'm in my teaching attire because I just taught an amazing heart-opening class, and it was wonderful. So I thought I'd pop in here tonight. It's a little bit after 8 Eastern time, and share some information about how you can nourish yourself in the springtime. It's been spring, and this is the time when a lot of fresh vegetables and fruits are coming to the markets. And if you have a garden like we do, we already have kale, Swiss chard, and collard, and lettuces are coming up. So this is the time when it's really important to shift how we eat. And I can't see anyone, but can you guys hear me? If you would type in, I can hear you, that would be great. So I have a bunch of things here in front of me. I would like to talk a little bit about spring eating. I also have a 7-day spring reset program coming up. We begin on Monday. You can start on the weekend too, which is just a week of eating really clean, seasonal foods to decrease the inflammation, to help us just feel better, sleep better, have less bloating, better digestion, get rid of that excess weight that I think all of us have gained. I gained it right here. And to nourish our liver, because the spring season, the two organs that are the most important are the liver and the gallbladder. Hi, Christine. So let me see. I have some notes here. Oh, before I start, I wanted to let you know, guys, that I'm doing, that's okay. No, I'm gonna just continue. So springtime, and I have my veggies here and different things, so I'm gonna talk about that, and some teas, and also some other things that you can do to nourish the liver. So Chinese medicine, right? In Chinese medicine, every season has two organs that we need to focus on, because these are the two organs, the liver and the gallbladder right now. This is the time when they are the most open to damage, they most vulnerable to damage, but they are also the most open to nourishment. So eating foods that are in season wherever you live throughout the year is actually crucial. If, as a health coach, when people ask me, okay, Chilla, what are like the 3 most important things that you would advise to me if I wanted to kick my health up a notch and I wanted to improve my health? And one of the things that I always suggest is eating with the seasons. It's like crucial. And I can give you a little example why. So let's think about wintertime. Wintertime is, can you guys hear me? Can someone type in if my voice is okay? Because my phone is sitting on my laptop and I think the mic might be blocked. So let's think about wintertime. So wintertime, it is cold, right? And it's very dry. And in the wintertime, what we should be eating is foods that are heavier, they are moist, we eat more fat, we eat more animal protein. The foods that we are eating in the wintertime, we cook longer, right? We put things into the oven, we roast them, we make stew. Everything is just like to give us that energy that we need in the wintertime, that grounding energy, and keep our organs, warm throughout the cold season. Thanks. And then springtime comes, right? The weather starts to warm up. The sun is warmer. It becomes actually a really wet season. It's very moist, and the fresh sprouts and the leafy greens are starting to pop up, and the berries are coming. So, and then we go into the summertime, which is very hot and dry, and then the fall, which becomes a little bit colder and it's very wet. And springtime is very, very mucousy, right? So let's say if you are a person who never changes their diet. It's not something you were taught, not something your parents ever paid attention to. I was born and raised in Hungary. I left when I was 24. So I was born in the mid 60s, so my mom cooked every single day from scratch. She would go to the farmer's market was next to us and the grocery store on her way home from work every single day because she needed bread and fresh milk. The milk didn't last long, right? And then she would get whatever she wanted to make that night. So in Hungary at that time, in the 70s and 80s, you could not have tomatoes and watermelon and, peaches and strawberries in the wintertime. Like, I could go to Wegmans and ShopRite or wherever you go to the grocery store. Throughout the year, you can find those things. We couldn't. In the wintertime, instead of a salad, we had fermented veggies, right? We would have pickles. We would have like sauerkraut, pickled beets, like a mixed fermented stuff, even at the restaurants. And then when the spring came and the summer, then you can have all those fresh things. And as we moved into the winter, again, you couldn't, fall, winter, you couldn't have those. So I naturally was raised in an environment where seasonal eating was normal because that's what was available. Here in the United States, when I moved here, how long? In 1991, I went to Canada. 1992, I moved here. And, we would go to the grocery store in January and there was watermelon and cantaloupe and strawberries. And instinctually, my body was like, I would not even think about buying them because I was not raised that way. And I knew instinctually that that was not the right thing to eat. Watermelon is very cooling. You don't want that in the wintertime. But a lot of people don't have that. So if the one thing that you take away from today's little Facebook Live is that you can benefit a lot if you learn how to eat with the season, you're already good. So as we move from winter to summer, to spring, what happens? Think about the animals. So if you think about, let's say, the deer, what does the deer do after the long winter? What does it start to eat? And I'm looking at my notes. So they start to chew on bitter roots. Why? Because they gonna want to get rid of the excess mucus in the intestines, right? And it's the same for us. During the holidays, we eat a lot of, we eat pastries and we eat a lot of sugar, we drink alcohol and all these processed foods and all these, junky foods. And you end up with a lot of mucus. If you drink milk and cheeses and ice cream, you end up with a lot of mucus on your intestinal walls. So when you move into the spring and you're smart and you understand you have to switch your diet, what are you going to eat right now? You are going to get your dandelion root or dandelion leaf tea and you're going to start brewing this. This is amazing at this time of the year. Very good for the liver. Remember, liver and gallbladder are the two main organs of the spring. So daily dose of dandelion root tea. This is going to fertilize your intestines with a brand new flora. And then you're gonna go to the farmer's market or you're gonna do your own sprouts and you're gonna get some sprouts, right? And you're gonna look for leafy greens, the dark ones, and also those very light green, those neon color leafy greens. That's what your body needs now to get rid of that excess mucus on the intestines. And then this is the time when you don't want to eat mucus producing foods. Also, this is interesting. So when your children are young, they are in the springtime of their life. When you become, in your 30s, early 40s, you are in the summer season of your life. And then, I'm 53, so, then you move towards the winter season of your life. Springtime is very wet. It's very mucusy. Look at children. Children produce mucus for a living, right? So this is the time when you want to think twice when you want to give them pizza and pasta and cheese and ice cream because they're going to have all kinds of congestions, mucus congestions, ear problems. That's from mucus forming foods. Dairy, wheat, gluten, soy, these cause a lot of mucus and also sugar. So you want to have the bitter foods. Liver, gallbladder, spring season, Chinese medicine, bitter flavors. So I've put my kale somewhere. I have kale in the garden. I can't find it. So kale is very good. Kale, collard, all of these bitter things are fantastic for the liver. Let me look at my notes. So once your flora is properly germinating in your gut, gut, then it's time to flush your lymphatic system. So you're gonna start first cleaning with the bitter foods. What are bitter foods? So the dandelion, if you have dandelion growing in your yard and nobody in your yard and around you is spraying with toxic chemicals, then you can take the dandelion and you can take the root and you can, make it into tea, or you can take the leaves and you can use it in various ways. I like to put dandelion leaves into some green smoothies, and not a lot because it's very bitter. And I also have a really, really good recipe for a dandelion salad that has a warm vinaigrette recipe on it. I got that recipe when I went to nutrition school 15 years ago, and I have a friend who just loves it. And the other day she posted on Instagram and she tagged me, and I was like, yeah, the warm vinaigrette dressing over the dandelion, it's delicious. You can also put it in soups, and let me know if you have some unique recipes for the dandelion. So then you want to eat the leafy greens and the sprouts to fertilize your gut, and then work on the lymph. And I will talk to you guys about what you can do for lymph, castor oil packs. Just let's go back to the food. So bitter foods, right? Another really good food in the springtime is beets, because beets are amazing blood cleansers, and they also help your gallbladder, right? Liver gallbladder season. Another good one is asparagus. Asparagus, I just sent out my newsletter yesterday. I hope you guys got it. And hi, Jurgita. Dandelion is very good for the liver. Beets, gallbladder, and also blood cleansers, and asparagus. Do you guys know what glutathione is? Asparagus is a great source of glutathione, which is very, very important for the function of the liver and your gut. So what I like to do is I like to, two ways that I use this, 3 ways. I like to very quickly when we make dinner, let's say we have a piece of steak or chicken or something, and then we want like different side dishes, like different veggie sides. You just quick boil or steam asparagus, and then I make a dressing. It's like a garlic Dijon mustard dressing. It's delicious. My kids love it since they were little. Another way that I use it, if I make a frittata with goat cheese, I put it in there. And a third way I use it, I make a really good asparagus soup, which is gluten-free, dairy-free, very filling. It tastes delicious. And I just posted that recipe this morning. And that is in my upcoming 7-day spring detox, spring cleanse, spring reset, whatever you want to call it. And it's starting Monday. If you just joined, Monday I'm doing this program. I've been doing these spring detoxes, resets for like 12, very long time, probably 10 years now. And I always say, that's it, I'm done, but it's fun. So I hope that some of you are gonna join, because you are going to learn what to do and you are going to get tons of recipes, and we'll do it together. It's lots of food. You get to pick and choose. It's vegan, it's plant-based. There's nothing, there's no eggs, there's no meat, there's nothing, no fish, no sugar, no caffeine. A lot of no's, but what you get is tons of fruits, vegetables, and very easy to make recipes. Smoothies, soups, salads, one-pot dishes. There's even dessert, herbal teas, and juices if you have a juicer. It's delicious, it really is. So going back to the season of the spring. So children make mucus for a living. You want to really restrict those mucus-forming foods for them and for you too. So bitter vegetables, a lot of leafy greens, sprouts. The color of the season is green. And let's talk a little bit. Oh, berries are coming in season. So I got some, this is the first time I bought fresh blueberries. I got some raspberries. We were eating that today with Sophie. Another thing that is good for the liver is lemon. How do I sign up for your recipes and stuff? Yes, Megan, you guys can go on my website, shininghealth.com, and look at Spring Cleanse, Spring Reset, and then you can sign up there. And I also posted a link earlier this morning with you'll see the food, pictures. So lemon and lime, but lemon very, very good for supporting the liver. So I like to start my day with hot water with lemon, but also I make every salad dressing usually with fresh lemon, and it's awesome. I just bought a juicer. Yes, juicing is great, and I will give you some really good juice recipes. And if somebody doesn't have a juicer, but you have a blender, I have some nice smoothies, some of them with the berries, and I also have a fantastic green smoothie recipe that tastes good. Even a beginner, someone who's like, I don't know if I want to drink a green smoothie, they will like it because I tested it out. So the liver, let's talk a little bit about the liver. So the liver, what is the liver's job? Who knows? Hi everyone, that's awesome that you guys are tuning in. So the liver's job is to help detox, whatever you're consuming. So it's a big cleansing organ, detox organ, and there's a lot of action that happens in your liver. Anybody who has any hormonal issues, like you have problem with your periods, problem with getting pregnant, or you are going through perimenopause or menopause, you have a lot of rashes, depending on where you are in life, you really have to take care of that liver. Also, if you have blood sugar issues, pre-diabetes, if you have congested liver, if you have cholesterol problems, if you have mood problems, if you have thyroid issues, certain things get converted in the liver. So liver and gut health for thyroid is crucial. So we really have to take care of our liver. And the emotion that is connected to the season of spring is, anybody knows what the emotion is? What is the emotion that's connected to the liver? I'm gonna wait and to see if someone's gonna mention that. So every organ has an emotion connected to it. And the liver is connected to anger, frustration, feeling unappreciated, blame, right? But mostly it's anger and frustration. So if you have, what is really cool is if you have a lot of anger and frustration, let's say maybe you are angry at someone and you can't forgive this person, that will affect your liver. You might go to the doctor, regular medical doctor, right? Practitioner. You go and they run all these different tests, right? And they might say, there's something with your liver. And then you do all these different things, but it's not really improving. It's because you have to address the emotional underlying issue. So forgiveness, right? Releasing anger. This is why I love teaching Kundalini Yoga, because there's all kinds of movement and meditation and mantras that support the liver. They support the liver and they also help, detox it on the physical level. And there's also things that you can do that will help release that anger, the inner anger, the frustration. So I am actually going to offer a 4-week spring detox through Kundalini Yoga. I highly recommend those of you who are really serious about taking care of your health. So going back, so we talked about asparagus, beets, kale, bitter leafy greens, sprouts. Anybody does sprouting here? Do you guys sprout yourself? I was scared of sprouting when I first thought about doing it, because I didn't want to get all those different things that to set up it, and it just seemed so complicated until I found mung beans. If you can find mung beans at your local health food store in the bulk section, or if you can go to an Indian store, get some mung beans. They are inexpensive and you can sprout them just in a small bowl. You put some water in it, put the mung beans in it. They don't even have to cover it, just a little bit, halfway. And then every day, twice, you change the water out, and within two days, the sprouts will start to grow. And mung beans are delicious. They're not super tiny, so nothing gets moldy. Like chia seeds, that's hard to sprout. But you can sprout lentils. That's another easy one. And sprouts are powerful because when you have a little seed and the sprout comes out, everything is in that sprout. There's so much power in there. Someone's texting me. So I highly encourage you guys to look into sprouting or buy sprouts, put it on top of your salad. I had Indian clients and they told me that they would sprout the mung beans, and in the morning they would take some ghee, saute the ghee with some turmeric and different spices, and then put the sprouted mung beans on it, and they would eat that. And I think that sounds delicious. Okay, so let me see what else. Let me take a sip of I have this kombucha that I really like. So what other foods do you guys think that are awesome in the springtime? Hold on. I have my, so this the 7-day spring cleanse starts on Monday, but you can do it anytime. We have a Facebook group, and I do a little intro class with a lot more detail. People get their recipes. You get recipes and daily menu suggestions. So I give you an example. Yes, alfalfa sprouts and radish sprouts. Yes, and mentioning radishes. So another really, really, really good food at this time of the year is radishes. They are just fabulous for, cleansing your body. I grew up on radishes because, in Hungary, it's a big thing. The way we were eat it, my mother would make us, fresh bread. The bread was so good there, and a little bit of butter, and then she would put the radishes right on top. Or if she would make a sandwich or an open fish sandwich, and she would have peppers on the side and radishes, and you just eat it like that. So I'm gonna look back at my notes. Another really good one is, so radishes, lettuce, and my favorite lettuce is arugula, and arugula is bitter, so that's really good for the liver. Cucumber and celery. Celery is a fantastic detoxifier. Anybody does the celery juicing here from the medical medium? That can be helpful for a lot of people. But whenever I make either a juice or a green smoothie, I put a couple stalks of celery in there. Just make sure you buy organic. Cucumber and celery are highly sprayed with toxins, pesticides. So you want to buy organic. And when you buy the celery, buy the top and the bottom, because then you're getting, you mean the leaves. I mean the leaves and the bottom, yeah, top and bottom. Look for that. Sometimes they cut the leaves off because then you're getting potassium and sodium. And I think celery in a juice or in a green smoothie is really good, very good for your system. So for example, I give you an example how one day would look like in this reset, the spring cleanse program. So you would get up in the morning, and then you would start with morning elixir, which you can do hot water with lemon if you want. And then some people like smoothies. Everybody's body is different. Some people can make a really good smoothie and they last. Other people need to have like real food. So there's different, breakfast options. There's smoothie. There's a really good raw granola, and my daughter just made it. I will post a picture of it. It's really good. You just make your own granola. Why is that important? If you like granola and you buy your own, there's a problem with the store-bought granola. Do you guys know what the problem with that is? Where is the unhealthy ingredient in the granola? I will wait. Radish is high on nutrients. Red radishes are packed with vitamins E, A, K, plus high in antioxidants. Yes, thank you for putting that. So it's amazing. And a lot of my American friends don't really think about buying radishes. There is one radish that I want to bring your attention to. I'm glad, Lori, that you mentioned it. There's a radish called daikon radish. Daikon, D-A-I-K-O-N. And daikon radish is very long. It's like a carrot. It's even bigger, and it's white. But it's called a radish. And that, guys, is amazing for cutting mucus. So if you have a lot of sinus issues, daikon radish will help get rid of the sinus issues. It's also great for melting the fat off of you. And as I mentioned, I gained weight here from just not being able to go places. New Jersey was closed for a little bit. You couldn't go to the parks. And also this just feeling this Groundhog Day. Even though I work from home, there is stress involved for all of us, right? Because not knowing what the future brings with all these things that are happening. So it's a good time to kind of like clean up your diet so you can release some excess weight. And the weight that comes on here is really, cortisol. When you stress, cortisol goes up and you get this little muffin top here, which is not healthy. I use daikon for pasta, yes. Daikon, I usually put daikon in miso soup. Sometimes I just eat it like that. And you can also, I have friends who roast it. I don't know, somebody asked me, do you make bread? I don't make bread, but I have a couple Hungarian friends who make some really good sourdough bread, so I can ask for the recipe. I love bread so much that I know that if I would have bread that I can eat at home, good one, like a crusty bread like I grew up on, I think I would be super overweight because I would be eating that all the time. And then I would not eat other foods because I would get full. I have this love-hate relationship with with bread. So the breakfast would be, you could have a fresh fruit salad, you could have a chia pudding or a smoothie or a granola, or some people like to have, leftover, maybe you can have a raw soup or leftovers from dinner. Breakfast is different for everyone. It's a good thing to think outside of the box when it comes to breakfast. And then there's a snack in between lunch and dinner if you need to have it, which could be a juice or a smoothie, or you can have coconut water, buy coconut water, or I often buy a Thai coconut and just open it up, and that's really good. It's very good, especially if you have like sugar cravings. And then a lunch could look like this. It could be a broccoli and arugula soup with quinoa, or a rubbed raw kale avocado salad. That's one of the lunches. Another lunch is detox wraps. Detox wraps are amazing. It has different kinds of veggies in it, and avocado, and you can use a lettuce if you want, or you can quick boil like a collard green, and you can put that in there. And the dressing that I have for this detox wrap is out of this world. I'm just starting to drool when I think about it. It's a little bit of almond butter, and there's ginger in it, and you just mix, make it in your little food processor. You can make a lot, and then you just drizzle it on, and then you wrap it up, and it's like amazing. Like, people tell me that they make it once, and then the whole week they just want to eat the detox wrap because it's really that delicious. And during this 7-day spring reset, your whole family can eat this food. Usually the husbands join in, the partners join in, because the food is very tasty and it looks good. So you don't have to like make a whole big ordeal of just making foods for you. You can incorporate these foods into the meals that your family is having. Another lunch would be, here it is, hold on. Another lunch is a mixed vegetable salad and miso soup, or you could make a salad with pinto beans, scallions, and parsley. Parsley is another really good one. That's a kidney flusher. It flushes your kidney, which is like important right now, right? So these would be lunches. Or you could have, there's a really, really good soup. It's cucumber avocado soup, and it's raw, and you put it in the blender, and there's a couple other things that you add to it. And I usually use water, or you can use coconut water if you want. And then it's just like, it's a soup. So you eat it with a spoon, but you can drink it from a glass too. And then berry salad, which is spinach with strawberries and onions and walnuts. So as you see, the dishes are very light, because we're moving from the winter to the spring, and you want to lighten up your diet, and it's getting warmer. And then if you want to see what would be like a dinner, so dinner is, you want dinner light when you're doing like a reset. And I'm going to talk about the moon. Today is the full moon, right? So really you want to do cleanses, resets, detoxes right on the full moon, or as we move into the waning moon phase. And I explain to you why. So here's a dinner. One night it's an asparagus soup, and the soups you can make ahead of time if you're busy. But I guarantee, I know that a lot of you don't have an hour, trip in the morning to the city or coming home. So you might have gained an hour or 2 hours every day. So this is really the best time to join us, because you probably might have the extra time to do. You don't have the excuse of, I can't do this because I have to get up at 5:30, go to the city, and then fall home at 7. When am I gonna make these foods? So a dinner could be asparagus soup with a small salad of your choice, or there's a really nice dish, either millet or quinoa with mushrooms. And if somebody doesn't want to do grains, you have the option too, if you want to be completely grain-free because you have an autoimmune issue. Another really good soup is a carrot ginger soup that is to die for. So as you see, there's nothing super complicated here to make. If somebody has diabetes and they have blood sugar issues, then you can, by all means, you can have like wild salmon or a salmon salad, or even a little bit of organic chicken. But the cleanse itself is vegan, it is plant-based, because what the main goal whenever you're doing a detox or a cleanse is to kind of give your digestion and your organs a huge break, so they can just say, there's no sugar coming in, there's no caffeine, there's no wine, no alcohol, no dairy, no wheat and gluten, no processed foods, none of that junky food. And it can just, have this big sigh and also the job. There's people don't understand. There's two things in life that take the most energy away from the body, and one of them is digestion. It takes a tremendous amount of energy away from you. So during this week, we just kind of chill, we eat lighter, we eat very easy to digest food, and the so-called allergenic 7, those 7 foods that cause a lot of sensitivities for people, food sensitivities, not so-called allergies, but sensitivities. So a little bit about that. So what do you mean when you have a food sensitivity? When you have an allergy, you either get like maybe a swollen lips or you can't breathe, it's instant. When you have a food sensitivity, you might not know it. You might go through life without knowing that you're sensitive to gluten or wheat or dairy or eggs or peanuts because it does not show up like you need an EpiPen. It could show up as in you have like dark circles under your eyes all the time, or you have big, bags. I have it because I've been not sleeping. I don't go to bed a lot on time, which is awful for the liver, and I'm going to talk about that. So a food sensitivity could be when you constantly have skin issues, psoriasis, or you have eczema. That is something that's coming from the inside, usually from leaky gut, and often it can be caused because when you have leaky gut, you eat like something with dairy or wheat or gluten, and it seeps through the intestinal walls, gets into your bloodstream, and it causes inflammation. And for some people, the inflammation could be an eczema or a skin issue. For others, it could be fatigue, right? I know exactly the magic trio that makes me completely fatigued and completely depressed. Completely. So depression, if you struggle with depression and really bad mood swings, I can guarantee you that it could be either something that you eat regularly, or it could be the toxic products that you use in your home. It could be candles, plug-ins, shampoo, body products, or whatever cleaning stuff you use. And a lot of people now going overboard with using Lysol and bleach and those things. But going back to the food. So depression, low energy, low moods, skin issues. If you are constantly looking like you're 5-6 months pregnant, if you have tons of gas, if you always feel really uncomfortable after eating meals, I guarantee that you combine the foods in a really bad way and they just don't agree with you, or you eating a lot of raw foods. A lot of people can't handle a lot of raw foods. Or you using really awful cooking oils, and I'm going to talk about that. So I'm going to talk about the moon and the cooking oils because I don't want to make this too long. So food sensitivities can come out in many, many different ways. Let's talk about children. I have seen children who are just out of control. How do we say this in English? They just can't control themselves. They are loud and they can't sit still and just run around, or they have meltdowns. Very often, these are caused by foods that they are sensitive to. The cleanse begins on Monday. You can also start on Saturday or Sunday. I have the material ready. So once you guys join, you go to my website, shininghealth.com, look for Spring Reset, and then you can join there through PayPal. So going back, guys, I met this woman. What is her name? She wrote an amazing book, Doris Rapp. Do you guys have children? This is for you. And I'm getting goosebumps. So Doris Rapp, she's phenomenal. She wrote a book called Is This Your Child? And I got this book when my kids were younger. I didn't have issues with my children, but I had friends who had. And I met this woman in Newark. There was some kind of an amazing workshop series, on health. And she was there. And I spoke with her and I bought the book. And if you go look up her name and Donahue, that guy who used to do those series on those daytime shows or whatever, Donahue interviewed Doris Rapp a long time ago. Even then, she looked really old. The woman is brilliant. They brought in children that were completely fine and they gave them a glass of milk. And within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, these children became It was like a Jekyll and Hyde moment. And I have that with certain foods myself. This is how I ended up becoming a health coach. That's a long story. But so that could be a food sensitivity. When a child has a glass of milk and then they're out of control after that, they have a tantrum. Like I have a friend, her nephew does this, but he begs for the milk every night. And the parents, the grandparents, they just give in. But after that, hell breaks out. And it's the milk that's causing that behavioral issue. So that's a food sensitivity. I hope that makes sense, right? So when we do a cleanse, we take out gluten, dairy, caffeine, soy, eggs, peanuts, sugar, alcohol. These are the so-called main highly sensitive foods. And then we eat very, very clean for a week. And it's actually fun. So we clean the kitchen, we do our food shopping. Thank God we still can go. I mean, I'm grateful that the stores have pretty much good stuff, when it comes to fruits and vegetables. And then, we make the foods, and you can make it you can make everything that's listed on the sample menu, or you can just highlight, pick and choose things. And then I'm a big fan of, if you make something once, you can eat it twice, right? It's okay to have a little bit of leftover if you're very busy. So we take out those foods, we eat very clean, and I'm really big on lifestyle, different lifestyle choices that you learn during these cleanse programs that you might carry into your life after that. One of them is tongue scraping. If you guys never scraped your tongue, I highly recommend it. It helps with cravings. You feel fresher in your mouth, and it's actually good for you because when we sleep, a lot of mucus and gunk and stuff, toxins sit on our tongues, especially if you eat a lot of wheat, bread, baked products and dairy and ice cream. And then you scrape the tongue in the morning. I like the U-shaped one, and mine is stainless steel, and you scrape it and you get rid of that gunk. Another thing that we do during these cleanses, and it might sound a little complicated, but it's nothing. And once you get into the habit of using this, you're gonna realize that this is like the best kept secret. And that's called castor oil packs. So buy a good quality castor oil. You can go to Whole Foods, to the vitamin shop, online, and castor oil, hexane-free organic, okay? And then usually when you buy the castor oil, most stores, not all, they sell. Okay, my daughter says, I need my room, Mom. Please finish. So I'm going to finish. She just texted me, and I'm in her room. So you get this. This is like a piece of wool. And you see a blue color on it because I use essential oils when I do my castor oil pack. So what you do is you can actually cut this. There's a big piece there. I cut it in half. And then I take my castor oil and make it the lazy way. And then I squeeze the castor oil right on top, zigzag motion. Then if I want, I might take, right now I'm using Juva Flex. There's 4 different oils from Young Living that I like to use. Release is another one. Remember we talked about liver, anger, frustration. This is a magical oil. If you have anyone in your family who have a lot of anger and frustration, this is amazing. And if you're in my Young Living group on Monday, I'm going to talk about oils and liver detox. So that's why you see a little blue, because Release and the Juvaflex has blue tansy in it. And then what you do is you take this, and the liver is on the right side under the rib cage. So you're gonna put it right here. I just pull off my t-shirt, put it here, and then you take a hot, you can take a towel and then a hot water bottle. Make sure you don't get burnt by the hot water. And you put it on, and you just lie down if you watch TV or just rest. I put it on and then I fall asleep like that, about for 40 minutes or so. And then you can take this, once you used it in the morning or at night, put it in your little Ziploc, and then you drop this in the fridge, and you can reuse this about 24 times or so. Make sure that's yours if your husband's doing it with you. He has his own. And castor oil packs, and I'm not gonna go into detail, I teach you how to do this and why we do this during the reset, is amazing. It's one of the best way to pull toxins out. You can use it on the belly too. You can, if you have an achy, let's say knee, you can do it on that too. And tons of benefits. And I also like to put it on my eyebrows, because if you have thyroid issues, you might lose the end of your eyebrows. And castor oil, you know, helps keep your eyebrows a little thicker. Which is a good little tip. And then I'm not into supplements. Let me see what I do recommend magnesium. I think everybody is deficient on magnesium. So besides the food, you just need castor oil, not expensive, and then some kind of a magnesium. The spray or the oil is fabulous. You spray this on your feet before bed. If you have an achy joint, you can spray it on there too. If you buy the gel, that's also very easy. Put it on. And why I like the topical magnesium is because it bypasses your digestive system. So it just absorbs through your skin. And if you have trouble sleeping, this is part of your sleep routine. The castor oil, if you have trouble sleeping, I guarantee that if you do a couple castor oil packs, those nights you're gonna sleep like a baby. And when I wake up in the morning, after I did the castor oil pack, I feel super calm, very grounded, like a bus could hit me and I'm fine. So that's what I feel when I do the castor oil packs. Let me see what else I have here. So yes, magnesium. I used to recommend, if you've done these cleanses with me, and many people did over the years, I used to recommend the Calm magnesium powder. I no longer recommend it because it can cause some upset digestive, upsetting your digestive tract. Unless you have like really severe constipation, then the Calm might be okay for you. But for most people, it can be a little bit more disruptive. So the spray, the gel is good option, and you can also use magnesium glycinate. Hi, Teddy. So let me look at my notes. I'm gonna talk about the moon. So the reason why it's good to do a detox or a reset during the waning moon. So today is the full moon, right? And then the moon starts to get smaller, smaller, smaller. That's what we call waning. Am I pronouncing it right? Waning moon. And that's when you are able to eat less and you're able to release stuff on an emotional and a physical level. So if releasing excess weight is your goal, this is the time to do it. I put it on Monday because, usually people, although now every day feels the same for most of us, right? If we work from home. But, you can start as soon as you want. If you want to start tomorrow, you sign up tonight, you can start tomorrow. And we'll have a Facebook group and we'll be able to chat there. And people always post all the different things that they're making, and it's a very nice camaraderie to do it together. So the waning moon helps to release stuff, physical, emotional level. That gravitational pull is very helpful. And many years ago, I didn't pay much attention. Thanks, Rosemary. I didn't pay much attention to the part of the moon, how important that was. And this is what happened. So we did one of the seasonal cleanses, and I had 3 women email me after the cleanse, and they said, Sheila, we didn't lose as much weight as we normally do. Why? And I was baffled. So later on, a book came into my hand, and that it talked about this. And then after that, no matter what's going on, I have to find a week when it's the waning moon. Again, you can do this anytime, but if weight loss is your main goal, do it with us in the upcoming days. And how much weight do you release? It's, depends on you. But usually anywhere between 6 to 7, 8, 9 pounds come off. And, the first couple of days before you start, you just reduce your sugar, your caffeine, your alcohol, all those things. And by the way, I was talking to a couple of my girlfriends, and everybody's stressed. And many of us, I don't, but many people reach for alcohol. I can't really drink, so that's not my thing. I actually was eating ice cream, which I don't do dairy. So I was eating ice cream last week. And then I was pretty good. I didn't go to the store much like I normally do, so I didn't have much at home. So I did pretty okay. But a lot of people drinking alcohol, they're eating junky foods, ice cream, whatever your vice is totally okay. And we are feeling the effect of it. So this next week would be great to join. And what else I wanted to share with you guys. So if you're joining, I'm talking about spring reset, liver, gallbladder function, bitter flavor, green color. There was one more thing that I wanted to mention that had to do with the liver. It will come to me. Dandelion is one of the best teas that you can eat. Let me see if anyone has a question, because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, and I'm gonna look at my notes here. Let me see. Dry skin brushing, that's another one. So dry skin brushing. So, and I have my brush. I used to buy the brushes with the long handle. And then one day I saw this online and I switched to this. And I really like this now. So this is a natural bristle, right? Like boar's hair or something like that. And what you do is when you do dry skin brushing, it has tons of benefits. So you always brush towards the heart, right? So I start here and then on my arms towards the heart. And then, you do your legs, the belly, the back, your buttocks. And then there's a certain way to do it around your breast. And, I don't do on my face, but I do my neck. So the lymphatic system, the role of the lymphatic system is to get rid of the toxins. It's like the garbage, the men who come and take your garbage away, that's your lymphatic system. Did you guys know that actually the immune system, long time ago, they used to refer to that as the lymphatic system. And then they decided, no, let's call it immune system. So if you want to have a strong immune system, you want to eat seasonally, very important. And you want to avoid processed foods, eat non-GMO organic foods, local, seasonal, and take care of your lymphatic system and also your digestive system. 75% of our immune system is in our gut. So the lymphatic system, this is a great way to activate the lymphatic system, unless you have a trampoline or, if you get lymphatic massages. Those are the 3 ways that we can do this. So this will be also suggested, but you do the best you can. I had sometimes people who came and they said I couldn't put all this in here into the whole cleanse, and pick something that you can do because it's really, really helpful. So the benefits of doing this reset program are more energy, right? You're gonna definitely sleep better, less bloating, you might release some excess weight. Definitely you're gonna see your skin become a little bit more brighter and more glowing. People always ask me, like, what do you do for your skin? And food is a big part of it. You really have to eat well. And berries, one of the best things for your skin is eating berries. So it's berry season. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. And so sleep, skin, energy, your mood. As I mentioned earlier, when you're eating foods that are not inflammation causing, your moods are going to be much more tempered. What else? Anybody here watching here who has done a cleanse with me, what benefits have you guys gotten? The liver. So the liver is connected to your hormonal system. So if you're struggling with perimenopause, menopause, or you have very painful periods, or if your moods, like anything that's connected to your hormonal health, supporting your liver will make a huge difference. If you have thyroid problems, overactive, underactive, sluggish thyroid, this will help, because T3 gets converted to T4 in your liver. If your liver is congested and sluggish, it's not happening. So let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. So we talked about going from winter to spring, eating lighter foods, scrubbing the mucus from the intestinal walls, repopulating it, with good flora, eating the leafy greens and all those spring foods. Anybody who, if your lymph is stagnant, you can have allergies, rashes, swollen hands and feet. You're holding on to more water. If you have a lot of breast swelling, that is a lymphatic issue. If you have cellulite, breast lumps, ovarian cysts, sore feet in the morning, sore throats, chronic colds, weak immunity, constipation, fatigue, lack of mental clarity, these are all connected to a lymphatic issue. So we're also gonna work on that. Can you have non-dairy yogurt? If so, is there a brand you recommend? I don't know which cleanse it is, but I have a recipe for making your own coconut yogurt. So that's an option. You just need a probiotic capsule that you would use. Yes, we try to, but during these cleanses that nothing processed is allowed. So everything has to be kind of like you make it and fresh. So I can send you the coconut yogurt recipe if you want. And berries. So talking about the lymph, a really, really good lymph mover are berries. And also hot water. If you sip hot water every 10 to 20 minutes, that is an amazing lymph mover. Did you guys know that? That's from Ayurveda. Hi, Marika. And people always ask me if I'm going to do a shopping list. I don't do a shopping list for one reason, because you get like 35 pages of recipes, but you're not going to use all of that. So the way people have been doing it is they get the material, they look at the daily suggested menu plan, and then they look at the recipes, and whatever recipe looks really good to their liking, they just highlight it, and then when they go to the store, they buy those ingredients. So that's how it works. And just a minute, I have one more little note. And and exercise is important. If you have very dry nose, I teach you what you can put in there in the morning, so you nourish those nasal passages. That's important for immunity, by the way. So when you go food shopping, almost everything on this you can buy at a regular grocery store. There's nothing really weird or anything that you might have to go to the health food store, as long as your grocery store has organic food. Because when you do a cleanse, you don't want to have food that's like highly sprayed. So the grocery list, and I'm gonna finish because my daughter needs her room, it's gonna look like this. So asparagus, beets, you can do Brussels sprouts and cabbage if you want, cilantro and parsley, scallions, garlic, ginger, different kinds of lettuces, asparagus, which as the soup is really good, different kind of berries. If you want, you can have papaya. It's very good for certain issues. Lemon and lime, raspberries, strawberries, all the berries are really good. And as far as oils go, it's really just, good quality olive oil. Yes, that was another thing I wanted to mention. If you want to take care of your liver and your overall health, you have to change up the oils that you cook with, because most people use very toxic vegetable oils, and that will really affect your health in a very negative way. Let me see what else. So if you need to have some animal protein, you can. If you have some health issues and you need to support your blood sugar and you can't do anything vegan, you'll be able to do that as long as it's like a high quality, organic, pastured, grass fed. And then you can have some nuts and seeds, but that's more like in the winter time. But you can put like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds on top of your salad. So I think did I share everything? I think I shared everything that I wanted to share. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, let me know. My website is shininghealth.com, and just look for the spring reset. I will put the link here. And we begin on Monday, or the Facebook group is already open. I have a couple people in there, and it's fun. It's not difficult. You'll feel really good. And if you need to talk to me, PM me, and I give you my cell phone number. Call me up, and I can answer any questions you have. If you've never done this before and you don't know what to expect, and you have a couple questions, please call me. Okay. So have a good night, everyone. Bye.